All right. Well, as we mentioned, and you watching on YouTube didn't hear us mention it, but we did. Just trust us in the service. We're celebrating the birth of Jesus.
The King of Kings.
Yes.
The Lord of Lords.
Which wasn't necessarily in December 25th, but doesn't matter when we celebrate it. We're celebrating his birth together. And today we don't have any kind of plan or script or list of things to read or talk about.
Very informal.
Yes, very, very informal. And you watching on YouTube see that I'm holding a phone, so if we start shaking, it's not an earthquake, it's that my arm's getting very tired. So anyway, yeah. And she'll be making faces at herself. Well, anyway, we thought we'd just take a few minutes to just talk a bit, see what comes out.
Well, I have something first.
Okay.
I was thinking about this while we were doing the other parts of the service, the introduction, things like that. And, you know, in the Bible it says Jesus was wrapped in swaddling clothes and he was laid in a manger. Well, that was his gift wrap. You know, for Christmas we get gifts for our friends and our family, and we give it to them, and sometimes it's wrapped. And some of us don't know how to wrap very well. I'm talking about the actual wrapping with the tape, not the singing wrap.
Some of us, huh?
Well, I do very well with the rapping part, not the singing rapping part. I can't do that. Okay. No, not now.
Trying to help.
I don't know how much help that was going to be, but anyway, so we wrap our gifts for our family and friends, and then we give them to them, of course. Because what's the point in wrapping them if you don't give them?
Unless you really like it and you want to keep it for yourself.
Well, that's when you bought the gift for yourself and you wrapped it yourself.
Okay.
People do that. But anyway, what I'm trying to get to the point, it's taking a while. It's all because of him. But anyway, what the point is, we wrap it in all this pretty paper, put a nice little bow on it, and we give it to somebody. Jesus, on the other hand, he came as a baby, wrapped in swaddling clothes, which isn't it's not a very fancy way of wrapping something. And there was no bow, as far as we know. Oh, I rhymed! Wow! But he came, and he was the best gift for us. He was the best present we could have ever received. This little baby that his mother wrapped in these swaddling clothes, and he laid in a manger. Where he was born wasn't a fancy castle. Even though he was the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the Son of God, the Prince of Peace, he didn't come in this fancy place. He didn't have fancy clothes on. He was a baby. So he didn't even know how to talk at that point. But he was the best gift that we could have ever received. And there are some people that don't know that. They don't realize that Jesus was our most wonderful gift that we could ever receive, because they haven't heard it, or they're not interested. For whatever reason, there's people that are like that. But me, I like to remember this little baby. And let's also remember that he didn't stay a baby. He became a man, had a ministry for 3 years, was persecuted, he was put in prison, he was beaten to death almost. He almost died from just the beating part. Then he was crucified, and he died. He rose from the dead. And he's going to come back. That's the story. And we're sticking to it.
And by put in prison, she was talking about not actually behind bars for anybody who sees that. And now your mind is going crazy because he wasn't put in prison. He was put, talking to Pilate and all that. And he was kind of
He
not
was
able to
arrested.
leave of his own accord at that point. So
He
close
was
enough to
captured.
prison.
He was captured. He was, he was. I guess I think as a being arrested is like he was isolated from everybody. Like he was a prisoner. He was captured.
And then, speaking of wrapping, he was wrapped up in grave clothes.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is, Ben. I was remembering these things. Ben wrote a song called "The Gift," and it's a really good song. I think you should play that. But anyway, and it talks about
Well, I
that
guess I could.
part.
I could insert it into the video, but I don't have time to edit this, so sorry.
Oh no, for service, I guess you'll have to listen because he can put it at the end of the service. But it's one of my favorite songs that he's done. That he talks about grave clothes, and it's just interesting that he brought that up. And it's kind of interesting how it kind of went from swaddling clothes in the manger to, well, I guess kind of like grave clothes in the grave. But just an interesting turn of events that occurred. But we can't have Christmas without Easter, and you can't have Easter without Christmas. So God knew what he was doing when he orchestrated all of this for us.
Imagine that. God knew what he was doing.
Well, hey, there are some people that don't think that God has any idea what he's doing. His plan is so out of whack for their lives, but it's not true. And I think we have to just remind ourselves of that, especially now at Christmas time and with all of the things that are going on in our world today. Some people don't think that God sees what's going on here, and he doesn't have a plan, and everything is chaotic, and there's no hope. But there's always hope. There's always something to look forward to. We, as followers of Jesus Christ, we have
Sorry.
Ben, get your finger out of the way. We have the hope of his return, of Jesus' second coming. That's exciting to me. People talk about, well, ladies, because it pertains to ladies, they talk about their prince coming on a white horse, and I'm like, yeah, mine is. He's going to be coming with a sword and all these other angels and things, because that's pretty much what Revelation says, as far as I can read it. Revelation is difficult to read for me, especially. But, so I'm just excited for that, but I'm also excited for now, for what's going on, for celebrating Jesus' birth today. Being able to sing his praises and sing and just realize and recognize the full story, what it's about, the different characters in the story. There's Mary and Joseph, and the wise men, the shepherds, the angels, those who saw them on the way, the ones that aren't actually in the story, that are probably there, but yeah, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Christmas and Easter are my favorite holidays. You have anything to say, Ben? I just doing all the talking.
Besides, my arm is really hurting.
We need to figure out another. You want me to hold the camera for a bit?
There we go. Say cheese.
Cheers.
Soy cheese. Yeah. Well, like I said, this wasn't scripted. We don't really have a whole lot planned to say.
I pretty much said it all, I guess, didn't I? I didn't mean to. I just had an idea and I went with it.
Thing about a gift, if you don't receive it, then at least you don't know about it. So it might still do you some good, but ultimately, it's interesting. We've talked about this. Beliefs, you can't really just choose to believe something you don't believe, because then you would believe it but you believe what you believe, and believing in the truth is either something that just happens or it's a gift from God. Um, I, I know it's really interesting to read some of the stories of especially atheists who were very hardcore. And C.S. Lewis, you should, if you don't know about his story, I encourage you to look it up and read about him. But he was a hardcore atheist who was a professor, and he was traveling um, the world pretty much, the relevant parts, trying to disprove Christianity, and he knew he was going to be successful. He was convinced. But the more he looked, the more he just examined the facts, the more he was quite shaken. And since he was actually open to the truth and wasn't so sold on believing his beliefs, the mind comes up with all sorts of beliefs, and when we believe in them and hold on to them and cherish them, and then we can't really see any other possibility. We can't accept the truth. You're wrong about something. We're all wrong about a lot of things. So I encourage you just to realize that, and while you might have beliefs, let go of them. Don't hold on to them. Your beliefs can't save you in the end. And I pray right now that the God who grants gifts of eternal life and of eye-opening to the truth would just open your eyes so that you can appreciate and receive and joy in with us this wonderful gift of Jesus, the Son of God, God clothed in flesh, laid in a manger, shepherds, angels singing his coming, shepherds going to bow down and worship, and the Savior of all mankind, including you.
Moi?
You more. Okay. Was there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know. You just put me on the spot, and I was on the spot before.
You're sitting on the spot?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sitting on my spot right now. This is my spot. Oh, it is my side of the bed.
All right, well, I guess that's it then. And are we going to play more music, or are we just going to go for the altar call, or both?
I almost licked your nose. Whoops.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and close. And for you who are in Second Life, this altar is open. And if you'd like to get out of your seat and make your way to the front, we're just going to gather here for a while and have a time of prayer and ministry. And I'm sure we'll be playing more music to commemorate. And maybe I'll go ahead and play that song, cue that up. But
yeah, that would be nice.
you'll have to be in Second Life, or go to almcyberchurch.org and click the audio archives and look for December, what's today?
The 20th.
20th, 2015, if you want to hear that song. Otherwise, just... And if you'd like somebody to talk or pray with you, you can instant message one of us, or if you're listening outside of Second Life or later in the week, you can go to almcyberchurch.org and click the prayer room or the pastor's office's link, and you can contact us that way whenever you need to go. You are officially dismissed, and if you can stay until after this time at the altar, you're invited to make your way up the steps to your left into the fellowship room. We're just going to hang out there for a little bit shorter than usual. We have somewhere we need to go. And we're just going to hang out and talk for a while. But come and let us worship and adore him.
May God bless you this week, and may he, Emmanuel with us, God with us, be with you and yours this Christmas. Go in peace.
And Merry Christmas.